If I asked you who the founders of Instantly AI are, you couldn't name a single one of them. There's four of them. You couldn't name a single one of them. When you think about Instantly and people think about their content, it's always some guy that they partnered with who's making their YouTube content. You had Felipe who was leading their business development. And it's like those guys are the faces of that company. Then I think about companies like Copy AI. I don't know who runs Copy AI. I don't know who the founder is, but I know Kyle Coleman, who was their CMO, and he had 120,000 followers on LinkedIn, and he was making a ton of content and driving a ridiculous amount of traffic for them. I don't think it's that scientific. I think if you do have, I don't want to use the word mascot because people aren't mascots per se, but if you do have that persona that is charismatic and can represent your company in a great way, I think it's totally fair game. I don't think it's as scientific as it needs to be.
Welcome to the show. We had a little change of programming today. Manny Medina, the founder of Outreach and now the founder of Paid.ai. He's over in the UK. He sent me an email that I got when I woke up. He has a big deal to close. He has to go to dinner with the client. He gets to go to dinner with the client to close them. Manny is going to come on. I hopefully in October, he'll be back. But we have fantastic guests who are able to come in last minute here. We have the Understory team. We have Alex Fine, Chris Chambers, Ali Yildirim, and we're super excited to go through a bunch of stuff with you guys today. Ali, Chris, and Alex and the Understory team run the ads for our B2B. So we're going to do a few things today. We're actually going to go through the actual ads through a Miro board that our B2B is running. And then we're going to do something great about halfway through. We've done this before, depending on the guest. We're actually going to pull up guests about halfway through to come up to be panelists and showcase their ad campaigns, their outreach campaigns, so they can get feedback from the panel here. Okay, so this is going to be awesome. Adam is out this week. He will be back next week, but we're pleased to be joined this week by the Understory team. Understory is an agency for B2B SaaS companies. They use an all-bound approach. They run paid media management. They do graphic design and hyper-personalized outbound solutions for companies just like our B2B and others. So guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, we're not Manny Medina, but I'd like to think we're a pretty close second. So I'm excited to be back.
With the power of three, I feel like you're at least 1.5 Manny's with the power of three of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
What is their website? Someone asked. Let me drop that into the chat. If you're interested in Understory,
it is understoryagency.com.
And we'll drop in LinkedIn links so you can follow all these guys. They post great stuff, and Understory is really like one of my favorite all-bound agencies. It's you guys do great work. Before we get into it, a couple things. Yes, there is going to be a recording. The recording will go live by Friday on YouTube. I'll drop the link to the YouTube channel here. It also does go live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So if you want to listen to it on the go, catch whatever you missed, feel free to hop in and wherever it is you watch podcasts. Just dropped in that YouTube link. Okay, audience. So audience, this is going to be, because we have some last minute guests and we're kind of putting together a quick run of show. We're going to do some more audience participation this week than we usually do. So instead of the segment in the beginning, what we're going to do about halfway through, if you are running an ad campaign, a outbound campaign audience, and you are struggling to get traction through that channel, during the next 20 minutes or so, tee up some tabs. When I prompt it, you can raise your hand. We'll call you up. We're going to try to go through as many folks as we can, maybe 5 minutes a pop, showcase some ad campaigns, get feedback from the panelists. And if you're not running campaigns, you'll at least get advice of what a expert team like the Understory team would tell you. So without further ado, I think let's dive into this Miro board. The best place to start here, Understory has been just killing it with our B2B ads. When I was full-time for our B2B, we were working together on LinkedIn stuff. Now you guys have gone into Meta and other areas. So why don't we open up that Miro board and show the folks here what's working for our B2B today, or and also what's being tested.
For sure. And I'll go ahead and share the link to the Miro board as well. It is a public link, so everyone can take a look on their own time as well, and they can follow along with how we're doing this. So let me go ahead and share the board here.
And we're going to keep this super casual for you guys, transparently. We're coming on here on short notice because we love to do this stuff, and we love Pete, and we love our B2B. So it's going to be very casual. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. I don't want to screw up the flow that you have, Pete. But we're pretty much an open book with this stuff, and Adam and the team love us sharing everything that we're doing. So happy to do it.
No, good and usually it is a buttoned up show, Alex. Unfuck my startup. I mean, by what you would think is not casual. I'm usually wearing a suit, but no, exactly. This is if you're new here too, this is like this is like how we would talk to each other if we were in a Zoom call, being extremely candid. We like to show that out to you. So nothing polished here. And folks, drop your questions into the chat as they're going through, but I'll let you guys take it away. I'll go on mute here for a second.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Ali, if you want to get into the in the paid social part first, and guys, just so you know, we're going to start with LinkedIn ads a little bit, get into the meta side of things, and then get into what we're doing on the YouTube side of things.
Absolutely. So if you guys have been following along our story, we actually started working with our B2B. I think it's been over a year at this point, Pete. I think we started launching the first initial ad campaigns back in May or June of last year. But if you're looking at the Miro board, on the right-hand side, you can see our LinkedIn ads diagram and plan that we were running last year. So basically, we took Adam's top performing posts on LinkedIn, what was performing well organically, and we bucketed that content into 4 persona buckets. So we made audiences for a sales persona, a marketing persona, kind of an agency type of persona, and then an early stage founder type of persona. So we bucketed all of those different top performing organic posts into those different personas. Some of the content was applicable for all 4, some of them just for one bucket, maybe 1 or 2. But we determined it by basically the actual topic that Adam was talking about in the post. But what's really important for this type of ad unit, which are called thought leader ads, they're essentially boosted posts, is that first 150 characters of the post. And this actually applies to organic posts as well. So as Chris is indicating here, you can see those first 2 lines at the top of the post. That's the hook. That's the first thing people see before clicking see more on an organic post or an ad. So it's really important that that hook is really catching people's attention and it's applicable to the audience. I think that applies in pretty much all ad campaigns, that you really want to be explicit with who you're targeting and who you're speaking to. But yeah, we analyzed all of the top performing posts and grouped them by persona. And you can see here, like, these are the top performing posts that we had for each one of those different personas that we grouped the ads in. And again, these are called thought leader ads. And they work really well because they look like organic posts. They don't look like a traditional advertisement you'd see on LinkedIn. They're not coming from a company page. They're coming from an actual LinkedIn profile. And the only thing that actually indicates that it's an ad is if you look very closely, like in the Miro board where it says CEO at retention.com, just underneath that, you can see it says promoted by our B2B. That's really the only indication that's actually a sponsored post, as opposed to, a traditional ad, which is coming from a company page on LinkedIn. And we actually did run some of those for Adam. So Chris, if you can scroll a little bit down to the bottom where we have more of the traditional ads, they're kind of those yellow ad creatives that we were running. And then zoom in just a little bit here. You can see those are the more traditional ad styles that you would normally see on LinkedIn. It's coming from the RB2B page, traditional ad creative, all of that. Decided to include Adam's face because we know it gets a ton of clicks. Those are the more traditional type of ads people are used to on LinkedIn, but the thought leader ads was what we were showing in the beginning and what we grouped into those different personas.
I think it's really important to, like, the thought leadership and persona matching is like incredibly important. I mean, if you scroll, sorry, Chris, to make it just like, I know this is a gigantic Miro board. And also I see a bunch of people in there. I see 22 people in there, which is awesome. Guys, bookmark that. This is like really good. But the thought leadership ads from above, it was really clear what one was for. Adam's network, or his audience rather, about 140,000 followers, split between founders and CEOs, other kind of more executive business operators, and then a ton of marketing and sales people. So I think you can look at the two of these and see which one is clearly for one persona versus the other. And I just want to highlight how super important it is across all of these different ad campaigns that are being run. Matching that content to the who is like, I mean, yeah, is everything. So I just want to highlight that.
For sure. And what we noticed with the content as we start to promote it, in terms of the performance by persona, we kind of ranked it like this. The top performing persona by total sign up volume and CTR was that founder led persona. I think it makes a ton of sense. That's the bulk of Adam's followers. I'm sure a lot of you in the audience are also early stage founders. He is a founder. I think a lot of that resonates with that persona. So it makes a ton of sense that would be the top performing segment. The second performing audience segment that we found just in our testing was that agency persona. I think it makes also a lot of sense. Agencies act as nodes for their clients. They can deploy these tools for all the clients that they're working with. They're always on the cutting edge of new technology, and so they want to adapt and try out these new tools. So it makes sense. I think that agencies and founders were the top two performing personas. Next, we saw marketers as the second, or as the third persona that was performing in terms of performance. And I think that, there's a lot of reasons for that it wasn't on the same level as the founder and the lead gen agency persona. But if we're ranking them in terms of sales at the bottom, marketers at least have a little bit more agency. They can install the pixel code into the website and actually set up the Slack channels. I think they have a little bit more access to the technology. With salespeople at the bottom, just because I don't think they have the most technical and tactical ability when it comes to actually installing the code. Maybe Alex wants to disagree with me there, but in terms of like the personas, I think there's a lot of logical explanation onto why those personas kind of stacked in terms of performance that way. Obviously, those are just our hypotheses, but that's what we came to in terms of a conclusion, that the reason why those personas performed that way was just that the founders and the agencies were really the quickest to implement those, with marketers being third, and then salespeople at the bottom. That was kind of our hypothesis.
Yeah, the agency plays great too, because like I have a client we're running a similar thing for, and it's the same characteristics. Like agencies like Understory do really well by showcasing how cutting edge they are, like you said, and just how capable they are. So if you go through agency content, it's a lot of workflow content. It's a lot of like new kind of cutting edge workflows, like things to look out for, infrastructure setups. So if your product kind of fits, is a part of that workflow, or say like would be a part of a Clay workflow or something like that, I've just been seeing the symbiotic relationship between the agencies and the products themselves be like, it's great for both parties, and it like educates the world on all these amazing things you can do. So also no surprise to me, but only in hindsight. Like, does that make a lot of sense? Yeah. Now you guys are also doing Meta. That's a new thing, right? When did you spin up the Meta ads?
Yeah, so I think we launched Meta like about a month ago at this point. Still pretty early on. And what we're doing is pretty different from what we've done in the past, just on the LinkedIn side. So, on Meta, we don't have the same kind of capabilities that we would have on LinkedIn in terms of job title, company size, persona targeting. So what we're really focused on is retargeting. One of Adam's goals was just to be everywhere. This was his new approach, just to maintain like a surround sound approach with the ad campaigns, and making sure that if you visited the website, if you engaged with any content, you were blasted with ads on Meta, on Instagram, anywhere that we could place ads, we were placing them. And that was the approach on Meta. So he was also comfortable with including customers and all that. He just wanted everybody to see their ads and make sure he was top of mind for that audience. And in
Now,
terms of the content, or go ahead, Pete.
no, I just while you're on the targeting, so Meta used to be more detailed in the targeting that you could actually select yourself, right? And now it's like, I mean, even what you have above right there, like, I mean, that's a big chunk of what you can actually target by, versus LinkedIn, you can dive a lot deeper, but like you actually used to be able to go to like keywords, I think other app downloads that were in their network. Like if someone downloaded an app, you could like target the people that it was really crazy. And now it's like this very small box. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of that happened after 2016. I forget the exact scandal, but there was a lot of data privacy issues that happened. And so they had to change the targeting. I think you could even do by income bracket and stuff like that. So the approach on Meta is much more broad targeting based, but also a lot of it has to do with the creative that you're running. A lot of people say that the creative is really the targeting for Meta, because once Meta understands who's engaging with your ads and the people who are called out basically in the persona, similar to what we were talking about in the hook for LinkedIn ads, then it'll start to show the ads to similar people, similar personas, and start to learn from there. And that's why it's also important to have accurate tracking set up, because if you can't tell Meta what is converting, then it won't know what to optimize for. So it really comes down to the creative as opposed to the actual like targeting buckets that you have access to.
Yeah, actually, Angela just dropped into the chat. Now the meta algorithm is a lot smarter, so the differentiation is in the creative. That is spot. That's spot on.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, let's see some of this the creative.
Yeah, for sure. So on Meta, and like Chris will detail on the YouTube side, we have three main content buckets. So here, what Chris is showing is the product imagery and the product videos. So we had basically Adam go through the exact flow of what happens when somebody visits your website and the Slack notification gets pushed to a Slack channel. Very just concrete examples of what happens with our B2B, just really giving it like a very clear visual of what the process is. I think this, it's really crucial in any sort of product campaign, any advertisement for a platform, just really articulating the value proposition and exactly how the platform works. And so this was the first batch of content that we launched, and we're currently running.
So the ads are literally like mini demos, like a
Yeah.
mini sales pitch and demo. Instead of like, you're not viewing this just as an awareness campaign. It's like awareness and a little bit of like research. You're like kind of getting them into that next stage too. How long are these
Yep.
videos? Some of them.
I think they're around a minute each, so not too long. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And then the second batch of content that we ran, or we're still running, are more head-to-head competitor videos. So in each one, Adam recorded, a different head-to-head type of video for Vector, for all these other competitive de-anonymization tools that are on the market. Obviously, some of them not as applicable anymore, but each one is just a comparison for how our B2B stacks up for each competitor and what the value proposition is and how basically our B2B is better than the others.
How do you know what, like, so philosophically, I generally don't like to bring up competitive situations unless I know for sure that that's like, let's take an example. If I was like Xero, the accounting software, and I was like entering the market against QuickBooks, like I would know that I had to go head to head with them because they're an 800-pound gorilla in them. But for this, there's a lot of different providers and competitors to RB2B. So how do you know which of that subset you're showing it to, or the algorithm just decides and you'll sort of decide based on the results that like, hey, most people have probably heard of Demandbase as opposed to Koala or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now, we're not doing any sort of specialized targeting, though I think we definitely should in the future. Right now, it's just more this general campaign with a retargeting audience. I think there's a lot of opportunity to create even like landing pages specific to each competitor, something that Chris and I were talking about on the Google side. Like if somebody Googles Koala or Vector, I mean, Koala not relevant anymore, but Vector or something like that. And they have a landing page, or we have a landing page with one of these videos. It's very clear on the value proposition of RB2V versus Vector. At this point, we're just testing to see which creative works the best, because I think it's still important for people in the consideration phase to understand how RB2V stacks up and what are the differentiators. But right now it's just generalized targeting, but I think there's a ton of opportunity to do more head-to-head competitor campaigns. And I know Chris has a ton of ideas and thoughts about that. He's run a ton of competitor campaigns on Google specifically, where that's more of like the natural state for competitor campaigns, because you're showing up for branded keywords a lot of the time. But right now it's just generalized targeting, and we're just seeing which creatives are having the highest conversion rate and the most engagement, because then we can double down from there.
Awesome. And I like that you highlighted that, just like the reality that like this is the experimental phase of this component, because that's like what it looks like. You have a ton of stuff and you're trying to throw it out there and see the results, which is just the reality. So
Absolutely. Chris, I don't know if you want to add on anything on the competitor side.
I mean, I think I agree with everything you said, of course. And yeah, I mean, I think it is experimenting with which ones are going to resonate best, which ones users actually end up finding your product better than the others. And also when it comes to things like copy and the actual content, and you can see this in these, like RB2B gives you this one doesn't. It gives you this, like it gives you this. And so you really want to make sure, like you don't want just general competitor copy, like, hey, we're the best, we're better than all of our competitors. You want to really specify by competitors. So like if your product let's say some other kind of product raises revenue by 30% and the competitor does 10%, you want to call that out. So you want to be very specific in the copy about what you do, what they do not do. And that way it's like people, because people are in the consideration phase, right? They already know about the other company, most likely. And so they know what the other company does. And there's a good chance they might see something that's like, oh, wow, that's what I need. This product is the one I actually need. So you really want to tailor the copy and the creative, so the videos, the images, to specifically which competitor it is. And we do the same thing like in search campaigns on Google Ads as well and on YouTube.
that's awesome context. Thank you, Chris. We did have a question in the chat too. It says, how do you confirm which persona is responding in which way? So from an attribution standpoint, let's say on the meta side, since you can't get as specific, do you have attribution kind of layers further down that allow you to sort of assimilate some attribution to certain personas? What does that look like? Or is it tough?
Yeah, so persona-based attribution will be tough. What we could do is, pull all of the signups by UTM and try to map that back to whoever signed up. So if we're seeing, the founders signing up versus other personas, we could do that. It would be a lot more manual. Right now, we're just looking at a content basis, like what's converting the best, especially because we're dealing with such a broad audience, like a retargeting segment. Once we kind of adapt these ads to something like LinkedIn or something, then we can get more granular on that persona reporting. But right now we're just looking at a performance by creative.
Awesome. Super helpful. Now, I believe we have one more ad network to go through, which is like the Google YouTube world. While we're doing that, audience, we're going to start in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to start calling some people up to come up and share their campaigns, what you're actually running today. If something's not working, if you're feeling stuck, if you're not getting traction, take the next few minutes as an opportunity to sort of tee up some tabs in a web browser so you can share your screen, and the panelists here from Understory and also the audience can help you out and give you some advice. So that's what we're going to do in the second half here. Audience, take the time to do that, because we'll want to pull up a few of you guys. And now let's take a look at Google.
Yeah, let's get into Google. So to start with, what we're running right now for Adam on Google Ads is YouTube ads specifically, so video ads. And I think a lot of people that aren't very familiar with Google Ads don't realize that YouTube ads are inside of the Google Ad platform. So they're a very separate skill set to run, but they are inside of the Google Ads platform. You're not running these from youtube.com. So I think that's important for people to know. First thing though is where we're doing two different things, right? So bottom of funnel campaign and a middle of funnel campaign. So we're really focused on remarketing right now, on retargeting. We might get into some prospecting later, some more competitive plays, that sort of thing. But right now it's mostly remarketing. The audiences we're using right now, and it's very similar to what Ali said about the meta ads, is that we're trying to be pretty broad right now. So we're doing audiences that are like last 30 day website visitors, last 90-day, last 180. But we're also testing very specific pages. And that way, and this speaks to your question a minute ago about how do you attribute these things? How do you attribute what audience is seeing what video, interacting with what ad? If you get really specific with the audiences, not only can you target specific videos, specific copy to people that have seen specific feature pages, comparison pages, etc., but you also get to see like how long did each audience view the video? How did they interact with them? Did they click it? Did they convert? That sort of thing. So it's really important to have a wide variety of audiences and make sure that you tailor what creative you're running to the audience. Because if you have, say, a competitor comparison video, you don't want that running just to your general homepage, right? Ideally, you want a dedicated landing page that's comparing yours. And that way, when they click the ad, they find out even more about what they want to know for the video. So I thought that was important to cover before we get into what these videos actually are and what they look like.
Yes, or these like, I mean, I see the ones with like kind of the Adam talking heads. I see some more demo style ones that are being run on Meta. What it looks like we got a mix here.
Yeah. So first of all, shout out to Adam because he is the quickest at shooting videos I've ever seen. He made, I believe, 25 videos in about 24 hours. And you can see, and some of these are like 10 minutes long. So it made them super quick, which was amazing. It allowed us to set up the campaigns really quickly. And similar thing is Meta, right? So we have some of them that are like this R2B or B2B gets one reply per 9 cold emails sent, right? And this is like a product demo type. So you want to serve these to more general remarketing type audiences. So like site visitors. You always want to exclude people that are already customers because you don't want to be, it'll be a waste of money, right? So you want to show things like this to showcase what the product actually is to more general site visitors. Similar thing with these. So these are Adam talking. These are generally called founder style videos. It's good to show your face. It humanizes your product more. Whereas these demos, they're really good for showcasing the product. But some audiences, they want to see you, right? They want to see the face behind the product. And so it's Adam talking. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. It's his company, it's his product. So we run a lot of these founder style videos. These are typically for remarketing as well. And they generally do well with the general audiences as well.
How many? I know you guys have a lot of clients, but like, how many are running? I guess maybe just a loose percentage, like founder-facing retargeting video style ads like that. Because I know there's some companies who just don't have that public persona out there for whatever reason.
A pretty low percentage because of what you said, but we're gaining more and more, I would say, every month. Not just gaining new clients, of course, but gaining more and more of those founder style videos and beginning to run them. Because what we typically do at Understory, right, is we run paid social and we run Google search and we run YouTube and we do GTM engineering and email and all that stuff, right? So it's the whole thing, which means that as these LinkedIn and especially the thought leader ads that Ali talked about earlier, as that builds up the profile of these founders, then we can start making founder style videos because suddenly these people know who they are and they start recognizing their face. And this helps to build on that as well. It also kind of has a backwards effect of helping the thought leader ads work better as well, if that makes sense.
To be honest with you, I would say a lot of our clients just don't have the same level of charisma. Or Adam's very charismatic. Let's be honest. Let's say it how it is. And so that goes a really long way. A lot of founders don't have that inherently. But I'll be honest with you, knowing that we work with Adam goes a long way too for our clients because it inspires them to want to start doing more founder-led content. And because of that, it's opening up more opportunities for us to run these style of ads for other customers as well.
What are your, and I agree with you too on it, like the charisma thing. Like it's not everybody has the personality and the, I mean, there's a few kind of attributes you need to like become that persona. You need like the actual soft skills to be that charismatic
You need to be
person.
6'6". You need to have hair like that. You've got to have all those things.
Exactly. So, but my question, like, if you're at a company, or let's say you're a founder and you're like, I'm an introvert, I don't mean to stereotype engineers, but let's say I'm an introvert and I'm an engineer. I don't know. I think some are introverts, and but you're like, I want to do this motion. I see the good that comes out of founder brand of building that trust. Because let's be real, the trust and admiration that is built through a public face, like a person's face, is way deeper than is something that's just at the company level and there's sort of a curtain behind it. This is purely in your opinion. So I know there's no like hard fact here, but like, would you recommend that founder find some sort of like spokesperson or like mascot within their company that could create that content? Or does it just not punch the same because they're not the founder and the founder is sort of the captain and that's what people are interested in?
If they have someone very charismatic and they can present it in a way that this is the expert and this is a person you should listen to, this is not just some random person we found who happens to be like the cultural glue of the company, right? If they can present it well, then yes, I think that could be a good idea. But I think really the best idea would be testing both and getting the founder training on how to talk better, because that's not only going to help them do YouTube founder style videos better, right? It's going to help them sell better. It's going to help them with everything. So
I,
I think them getting, yeah, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, I don't think it's that scientific, to be honest with you, because I think about companies like Instantly. If I asked you who the founders of Instantly AI are, you couldn't name a single one of them. There's four of them. You couldn't name a single one of them. When you think about Instantly and people think about their content, it's always some guy that they partnered with who's making their YouTube content. You had Felipe, who was leading their business development. And it's like those guys are the faces of that company. Then I think about companies like Copy AI. I don't know who runs Copy AI. I don't know who the founder is, but I know Kyle Coleman, who was their CMO, and he had 120,000 followers on LinkedIn, and he was making a ton of content and driving a ridiculous amount of traffic for them. I don't think it's that scientific. I think if you do have, I don't want to use the word mascot because people aren't mascots per se, but if you do have that persona that is charismatic and can represent your company in a great way, I think it's totally fair game. I don't think it's as scientific as it needs to be.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
If you don't already have it, then it's going to take a long time to try to produce. And so if you have it, use it. If you don't, then maybe stay away from the founder style videos.
Fair enough. Yeah, because I know, I mean, when we work with Alec too, who I know you guys know, and a lot of
Yep.
the audience knows, Adam's LinkedIn consultant. In the very beginning, he's like, just do text. And he will tell people to do text for a very long time. And even now, I mean, a lot of Adam's content on LinkedIn is still, there's a lot of text. Of course, we have this show, which is, whatever, person facing, asset. And there's other videos that go around and clips from the show and other talking heads that he does. But I agree with you, Chris, because like I don't want people to get the impression that, hey, I should be spinning up Meta or YouTube video ads, because there's so many layers to get through before that's going to be like probably a well-performing asset for you. So apologies for the aside, but yeah. So how are these
No,
working
much
so far?
appreciated.
I know they're pretty new.
Yeah, they're very new. They're very new. We're getting a decent amount of clicks, so frontline metrics are good. View rates are extremely good. I would credit a lot of that to Adam's video style and editing. He has the great hooks on LinkedIn. He has them in these videos as well. So our view rates are very, very good. A lot of these videos are being viewed over 50% of people are watching more than half the video, which is an amazing view rate on YouTube, an amazing view rate. So they're doing very, very well. Now this is remarketing, so I wouldn't expect this if you're trying to do cold prospecting on YouTube, but I also would be very hesitant to do cold prospecting on like B2B SaaS. So yeah, they're doing well.
Thank you for highlighting that. All of these all serve different functions in different parts of the funnel. That's like a really, really important component, and also just your rationale behind doing founder brand at Talking Heads versus not, all of that. Sam also dropped into the chat. I know there were some comments about the video editing and spitting out a lot of video content. Adam will record a ton of these in one block using Riverside, as Sam dropped into the chat. And then our video editor will go in and chop those up into good talking heads. There are also, RB2B and Adam do human editing. There are also services like Opus is one of them. I've been using that will take a longer form piece of content. Like if I was to drop this full show into Opus, it would create a bunch of AI, not generated, but AI edited clips with the captions and everything. So there are ways to also do it on a budget. Cool. Well, folks, I think this is the time to hop into the audience participation segment. Has anybody done the task of bringing up some of their, and guys, thank you so much for showing us that, first of all. I'm going to drop in the link to the Miro board again, so people can take a look at really, like, it's just so great to see. I had taken a look at it before we hopped on today. Like, it's just great to see how a really well-polished agency who does this over and over for many businesses, like, really thinks about and prioritizes and sort of structures these things. And the Miro board, thank you so much for sharing that, because that's like a resource people can kind of go back to and really mock as they set up their campaigns. So amazing resource. Thank you for sharing. And folks, if you're ever looking to share content and wondering how to share valuable content, I mean, this Miro board going around by the Understory team is pretty awesome. Okay, audience, does anybody running an ad campaign or an outreach campaign right now and is struggling to get traction with that campaign? This could be YouTube ads, LinkedIn, Meta. We could be running cold email. Is there anybody here? Raise your hand and we'll call you up and we'll do a little collaboration kind of working session here. And we'll try to get through a few people. Can it be a new email campaign not launched yet? Sure. Let's take a look at what you're working on, Sam. Raise your hand. Let's promote you up here. Edward said trying Reddit ads. They're interesting. Understory, do you guys do Reddit ads?
Absolutely.
All right. So
honestly, we're doing
them.
more and more with Reddit too. It's a pretty exciting thing that we've really been exploring a lot in like the past 3 months. Almost all of our clients who are running paid media with have come to us and asked us to start exploring on Reddit. So we've done a lot of testing, a lot of cool stuff that we're looking into and playing with in Reddit.
Awesome. Reddit is really interesting because I'll be in a very specific subreddit and get a very specific ad, and it's an amazing place where people congregate over very big or very small concepts. And we have our first panelist. We have Sam. Sam, how you doing?
Hey.
Sam, we were just talking on LinkedIn.
I know. I'm
Well-
stalking you. No, I'm just kidding. I come to this webinar every week.
Well,
But
thank you.
nice to meet you virtually now, Alex.
You as well.
Well, Sam, thanks for joining. I mean, do you want to just hop into like a screen? I mean, do we just dive right into a screen share? Show us your copy maybe, or
Yeah.
what you're thinking? Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to show I'm going to show everybody my copy inside the SuperSend app, because there's like liquid syntax and whatnot in there. But basically, we are trying to do a new campaign. We've seen a lot of success with M&A firms or like investment banking. So we're doing a new campaign to M&A advisory companies. So
What's your company, by the way? Sorry, what's your company?
So yeah, SuperSend is very similar to Instantly and SmartLead. We offer a domain and inbox setup, kind of like a done for you package, where we also help create the first campaign for our new customers as well. Or you can just you can set those up by yourself inside the platform, and essentially We provide a platform to do cold email outbounding safely. We also do LinkedIn automation, and then we also have Twitter automation as well. We don't have a lot of people using the Twitter automation. The name is supersend.io. But yeah, let me share my screen and
Perfect.
show
I'll
you.
pop your URL into the chat for
Okay,
everybody
cool.
so they can check it out. All right.
Okay, cool. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes. Oh, so you're using your platform to send out your code. This is good. This is like half demo.
Yeah.
This is good. Okay.
I was like, okay, I gotta do it. So I haven't launched this yet. And just mind you, maybe I can show you my clay table as well. But I definitely do multiple drafts. We do not want our end result to be like a 10-minute audit. That's not what I want in my like offer at the end. Really, we want to offer our done for you campaign that we're doing. So let me show you. I just did a quick chat. I'm literally working on this like right before I hopped on. So I just threw it in ChatGPT and I was like, I need to change the end of this ask. But then when I had it help me, it's like way too direct, I feel like. But I don't know. It's like, do we stay really direct? Like, I feel like I'm always trying new asks. So I would love to show you the first draft that I have and then get your opinion on how I might be able to change it to actually offer like our launch full setup with the domain, inboxes, warming, rotation, everything like that. And then they own that after 14 days. But
Should we go through the copy first?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And email one too, just for everyone else in the audience, like in general is going to be responsible for I mean, usually it's like at least 50% of all the people that will respond positively to the campaign will do it on that first email. And then like the rest kind of trickle in from the rest of the campaign. That obviously differs. That's kind of been sort of the standard. So when you're really trying to tweak content, that first email is like really what just spend, if you're going to tweak six emails, eliminate the other 5 and just spend all of your time tweaking the first one in your offer. Anyway.
Okay. So we have a syntax up here, different short subjects, inbox safe orientation, deal emails that land, safer owner outreach, keep domains clean, outbound without risk, protect the domain. So hi Pete, and then we have liquid syntax right here. So if this clay variable for this persona or this contact equals on the sales side or on the buy side. So we did that. I did that on a company level, and then I brought them over to a person level. So basically these variables will be on the person level. I noticed your company is recently focused on sales side or on the buy side or on the deal side, mandate searches or deals. And then I give a little bit of background, kind of like not social proof, but helping with like trust, building trust, giving some insight. So quick note, since February 24, Gmail and Yahoo tighten bulk sender rules, authentication, one click unsubscribe, look complete rates, or you get throttled and rejected. We've been setting up separate domains and inbox rotation and warm up monitoring so firm outreach stays human, compliant, and lands in inbox without risking the primary domain. If you're expanding outreach to owners and then the geo focus is basically like where they do their business. This quarter, want a 10-minute check on your current setup. I'll flag gaps and share a simple blueprint that we use with M&A firms. I don't really like our ask because we really don't want to say like, oh, can we check this? Like, we just want people to respond if they want to talk to us, if they're interested.
So those top will kind of rotate around. How do you know, like, do you have a good idea as to like which persona should receive which problem? Like, do you have that like problem and persona matching already done? Or is this sort of like a big kind of bulk list and then you're rotating this messaging within that bigger list?
So the personas are pretty similar. Most of the personas at M&A companies that handle the outbound for, because we've ran similar. Number one, we have customers in M&A. Number two, we've ran similar campaigns with these types of titles. So we have titles in here that handle their cold outbound.
It's almost always a managing director. I
Yeah,
found.
like, yeah. So there's not really, this is really just one, they're all pretty similar to each other.
Does SuperSend allow you to preview
Yes.
contacts before it sends? Maybe that's helpful.
Yes, but I don't have any contacts in here.
Oh, you never pushed them yet? Okay.
I haven't pushed them yet. I literally was just built because I'm recording this process. Yeah, so I haven't pushed it over yet, unfortunately. But really what this is going to say is, hi Pete, notice our B2B is recently focused on the sales side mandates. That's it. That's the first sentence. So this industry, M&A industry, they either are on the sales side, they're selling companies to other people, they're buying companies for their investment portfolio, or they do both. So it just adds like a tiny bit of relevant personalization.
Okay. Now, is there any after the quick note, and then colon since February 24, all of that, am I missing any tags on that paragraph? I don't think so. That's all that all stays the
it's
same
just
for everything. Just the geo focus one. Okay. Okay. So let me so since February 24, Gmail and Yahoo tighten bulk sender rules authentication +1. So okay. You can send it. I'm curious the panel's opinion. I feel like there's a lot of info being thrown out. It's like, here's this and that and that, and like trying to get them to like hook on to something that resonates with them in a way, right? Is that fair to say?
Maybe if you just like separate it.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, Alex or Ali or Chris, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we have like inbox rotation, warm up, monitor. Like, I feel like there's a lot of info being thrown into there, and less like compelling offer is kind of my what I'm sort of seeing. What do you guys think?
I was muted. I was also thinking the same. There's a lot. I would say it's really relevant information, and as someone who does this for a living, right? It's like I know what all of this means, and I know how important all of it is to know about, but I don't know if they care. I think it's more so like give them something that they're going to care about that's really hard to say no to. Like, I think just saying since February 24, Gmail/Yahoo tighten bulk sender rules.
Has this affected you?
Yeah. Have you noticed a drop off in replies? Or have you noticed a drop off in email performance? Something like that versus all the other stuff. Because I think the technical stuff is great for people who understand it.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone in the IT department at these firms. But the managing director of the company is focused on selling businesses or buying businesses. They care about this because it affects the ability to buy or sell businesses, but they don't care about why. They just want someone to fix it for them. So I think just calling out there is a problem. Have you experienced it? If you do feel the pain, here's what SuperSend can help you with. Go from there, but keep it short, keep it tight. It's also going to help you inbox better from a deliverability perspective.
Yeah, I haven't added spin tax in this either, which I normally do in all of our outbound as well.
But even beyond spin tax, I mean, I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, but with us and all of our clients, we're seeing shorter messages inbox at a much higher rate.
Yeah.
So if you keep it under 60, 75 words, then we see those much more likely to land in the primary inbox, and therefore your response rate's going to go way up.
Okay. So yeah, I think like this ask at the end, I also can make shorter.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep it with the pain, right? It's like, are you experiencing this? Have you seen a drop off in results? Have you seen a drop off in performance? And then even poke the bear with another question. It's like, have you seen any other channels pick up in performance? Something like that. So despite the fact that it's not, relevant to SuperSend, it starts a conversation. And then from there, you pitch it back to, well, with SuperSend, we can get those rates back up. We can help email become a valuable part of your outbound strategy again.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know though. I mean, can we open the
Probably
floor to
like-
everyone else? Does everyone else?
I agree too on like so you were getting to like the, you know, all the different like SPF, like there's different like filters, the DKIM stuff. It's, I mean, to what Alex is saying, like, why should the managing director care about that? Like, I almost feel like Alex
For
would care
sure.
about that email. He'd be like, oh yeah, like this, I mean,
I'd be
not
like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I should look into SuperSend, and maybe I will look into SuperSend, which is why we were talking on LinkedIn. But yeah,
We've kind of noticed that those words. So one of our customers, we're going to do a customer testimonial on Thursday. So the third, like one of the emails in this campaign will be a short snippets. Like they got over in their first month, they got over like 200, maybe 300 replies to their campaigns on SuperSend. So they already had good copy. Like that was all their own copy. And they were setting up all their domains and inboxes. They were actually one of our first customers after Curtis and Chris like ended up purchasing SuperSend. So they've been with us literally since the beginning. It's been a really awesome journey with them. But they now pay us to set up all their domains and inboxes and do everything for them because it's such a pain. So I feel like those are like trigger words to potentially have inside the copy, because people who don't mind writing their own campaigns hate setting up their domains and inboxes.
my answer,
Yeah,
and this is my answer with everyone that works at Understory too, as they're building campaigns, is test. Have an A/B
Yeah.
test. Test it. Test something that's way less technical, and then test the technical
Okay.
message. See which one
Okay,
works
cool.
best, and then make a decision based on that. I mean, the data is going to give you the answer.
Okay, cool.
Diane had also dropped something into the chat that I think is relevant to the testing thing. She said, instead of want a 10-minute checkup on your current setup, you can say, let's set up time later this week. What day works best for you? Be more open-ended. So once you have like, I'm sure the Understory team would agree with this. You don't want to test too many variables at once. Otherwise, you have no idea what is causing.
We
the
like to go
difference.
A through D, so the maximum we'll test at a time is 4. But usually we'll test
Okay.
multiple different things. The thing is, it's really hard to figure out what to test. Like, for example, do you want to have a different CTA, a different hook? It's like you got to pick and choose what you want to test, but set that parameter early on so you know what you're looking for. The best thing that we like to do, which is time consuming. Oh no, my camera went out. It's overheating. But it's time consuming, is first run a test. We like to do 500 people minimum in a test. Usually we prefer to do 1,000. But if you do 500 people minimum, test the hook, test 4 different hooks, see which one works the best. Test 4 different CTAs, also with 500 people. Test 4 different bodies, and then do the best combination of all 3. It's time consuming, and you do need a lot of contacts to test it effectively.
Yeah.
But if you're testing with less than that, it's like you're kind of testing. You're not really testing, right?
For sure. Yeah,
If you're a one-woman show too, that's a lot of work, but
yeah, we got our people list. This is all verified contacts though, so obviously there was more people. We got our people list from Apollo and from Clay. So we're not using any other lead tools at the moment. So our list is pretty small. I think there's only like 4,247 people. That's not like a huge list, but it's enough for testing for sure, I think. So
yeah, it is.
A list of 4,000 people that's like doesn't have a lot of fat on it is way better than, I mean,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
so
these
much-
are all verified. You know, companies are active, like they're good. It's a good lead list, so we're excited.
I think
Okay,
we got
guys.
I think we got to the world where like it's so easy to get hundreds of thousands of contacts that like we forget that 4,000 really good contacts is actually an amazing asset to have. So
I actually don't think that we've done many campaigns with this many like very good contacts in it yet. So this will be like one of our bigger campaigns. So
nice.
Okay.
Well, awesome. Let us know how it, maybe we'll put up for a segment in a few months. Let us know how it's going. We're going to have the Understory team
All
back,
right.
actually. Maybe we can play up during the Unfuck My Startup section in October, and we can do a little recap. You can do a little check back in.
I'm there. I think we're
All right.
launching this at like the end of the week or maybe next week. So
Perfect. Perfect. And since you were such a great sport, Sam, I'm gonna send you some swag, so I'll connect with you via email.
wow,
And
thank you.
you've been attending so much. I mean, come on, the least we can do is get you a sweatshirt and a t-shirt or
Well,
whatever.
I work remotely, so I actually do come to this every single week. I do look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
You guys
I
are
appreciate it.
entertaining. I like your personalities. You guys have great guests.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And folks, if you want to follow along with Sam and Super Send, I'm dropping the links in here. Sam, thank you so much for coming up. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks,
By the
Alex.
way,
Thanks,
Sam,
Chris and Ollie.
I,
Bye.
of course. By the way, I was gonna say I've heard good things in like dark social WhatsApp groups about SuperSend. So whatever you guys are doing
Love that.
seems to be working.
The
That's how I found
engineering
you in the
team
first
is
place.
doing a lot. That's for
That's
sure.
how I found you. So kudos to you
Cool.
guys.
Exciting. Thanks so much for shouting this out.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
I'll
All
connect
right.
with you soon. Okay, bye.
You bet. Bye, Sam. And how do
I don't know how to leave
I
this, just
think you
FYI.
just yeah. Oh, here I got you. Yeah, I don't know how to unpanelist somebody.
Okay, let
Well,
me look.
it's okay. So, Understory team, where can people find out more about you? LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
I suppose, is a good place.
LinkedIn. Chris just hit 6,000 followers. He made an announcement about it. No, but in reality, all three of us are super active, and our entire team is on LinkedIn. That's the best place to find all of us. We're also super responsive on LinkedIn. Our website has an open calendar. Our LinkedIn profiles have open calendars. Might be busy, but that's the best way to find us.
Heck
And check out our
yeah.
podcast on YouTube. I think
That
Adam
too.
was our second guest that we interviewed. One of our favorite interviews on the podcast. So check it out on YouTube.
Heck yeah. I love that you guys are going into that world too. Well, Understory team, we will see you again October 14th for a less impromptu and more polished show here. Thank you so much for joining and showing the folks all the hard work you're doing. Thank you for sharing the Miro board. That's like such a cool asset. I'll share that around. I'll drop a cheat sheet into LinkedIn later this week. I'll include that Miro board. And folks, next week we have Pep Leia from the CEO of Winter, who's going to come on, chat messaging, all sorts of different stuff. So tune in next week. Adam will be back. It'll be the three of us, me, Pep, and Adam. And I hope we don't have a last minute guest cancellation because I don't know what else we can cover, guys. But thank you so much for covering this week. We appreciate you. Recording will be live on YouTube next on Friday. Everybody have a great week, a great weekend. We will see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for
Hey,
having
everyone.
us.
Hey,
Also,
thanks,
next time you
everyone.
need to be in a tuxedo t-shirt to keep it
Yeah,
even more
perfect.
formal.
More formal. I'll do the real tux, like Jim from The Office when he.
Okay. All right. We'll all do it. We'll all wear tuxes.
Let's prank Adam. We should like all do it, not tell him he's in a t-shirt.
That
He
would be
looks like a slob.
hilarious.
Good little practical bit. Folks, we appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.